Hi guys and girls, I'm Obsidian Ant and welcome back to Elite Dangerous. The location you see me in right now is not the location I logged out in. Got in the game today and found myself on board a rescue ship. It seems then that the station I was in originally, Calaveri, has now been attacked by the Thargoids. This is the second wave of attacks and again is 3 stations, Calaveri as you can see here, Hudson Observatory as well as Bayo Landing. You can also see some new icons here on the map, and these are stations under repair. But before we go have a look at them, let's have a look at what's happened with my ships. I do have a bunch of them on board this station, and unfortunately the station is not in the best of shapes. Now I've got to admit, before I came here I was half expecting one of the big arms to have broken off or been damaged, but that seems to not be the case. But there are plenty of fires here and the usual damage inside and some debris, which with the slow manoeuvring Type 10 here does cause some problems when you get caught by some explosions, as happened right here. It buffeted me up and then I very nearly clipped into this debris. So my Asp Explorer is right back within inhabited space at Shinrarta Dezhra, where I collected the Type 10. Haven't moved it out this way yet. There's not really a huge lot of shipyards in the Pleiades sector, so transferring ships around can get a little bit difficult, especially when the few stations that do have shipyards come under attack like this one. You can still get access to your ships, but you can't transfer any other ships here. So then, as with the previous attack stations, there are a load of evacuees wanting to get out. So if you come here with a passenger ship and I've got my Beluga liner, then you can go back and start doing the evacuation missions again if you're so inclined. And it is a good way of getting some of the rarer materials, so you may want to do that. And you can get a reasonable amount of money in a reasonable amount of time as well. Next up on the list though was to go look at the new stations, or the new status of stations, which is under repair. And these show up as yellow icons on the galaxy map. Let's read some of the descriptions there. The Pilots Federation has reduced its travel warning for this system. One or more stations are undergoing significant repairs after suffering high levels of damage. Some services at these stations may remain offline for some time. Local factions are working to repair. Do come and look at these stations. This one here is the Oracle. It did have the busted reactor at the back. You can see they're now well underway of getting fixed. Full of scaffolding all over the superstructure, repairing various holes. There's still traces of caustic goo on the outsides here, and you can see where some of that caustic damage has actually eaten through the hull. Very nice effect. What's more, you can see through the outer hull here into the inner layers of the station. It's actually overall a fantastic damage model, and it does wonders to convey the grand scale of these stations. And this is very apparent on the ring sections. I guess the guys here have got their work cut out, because they're probably going to have to get this all fixed in the next week or so, as each phase of the attack is occurring on a Thursday during server downtime. At the back, you may remember the exposed reactor that was causing interference with the ship. The reactor is now repaired, it seems, although the outer casing still has some significant damage. Now I've got to admit that all these 3 stations that were originally damaged are now in the under repair status, and that seems to have happened regardless of the amount of prior effort that's gone into getting them evacuated and all the rest of it. Would have liked to have seen them have different phases depending on the amount of prior effort that had gone towards each station. So inside the station things have returned much closer to normal, and just to look at the inner sides of the station here, you'd never know anything was wrong. The only telling aspect is some of the station services are offline, and the passenger lounge has still got a whole bunch of refugees here. Now these are not evacuees of course, but I guess they just want to get out of the system and find somewhere that's a little perhaps better for them. Now these missions are not particularly high paying, but do keep in mind I haven't got any reputation with these factions, and the payments will probably increase as the reputation increases. Whether or not though they would reach reasonable levels is another question. The mission board is another new story. Here they're sourcing materials for repairing the station. Power generators, tantalum, silver, and all manner of other metals. So if you've got a ship with a good cargo hold, then you can probably make a reasonable amount of money by doing those missions. Over on the news board then, we can see what effectively amounts to a mini community goal. This is showing the amount of resources that are required, and I guess in brackets the percentage that's actually been delivered so far. In all these cases at the moment that stands at 0%. But I haven't yet checked any of the other stations that are under repair, so the story may be a little bit different over there. The big question is then, will these stations automatically go out the under repair status and into the normal functioning statuses on their own next Thursday, or will that only happen when the goals here are achieved? Unfortunately, there's no way of finding that out because there's no information telling us one way or the other. Over on the commodities board you can see the extremely high demand for all these materials and commodities, but you're not going to make yourself a multi-millionaire overnight by following this, as the amount they're paying for each of these commodities is not that much higher than galactic average. That said, if you're willing to hunt around or use external resources, then you may find some reasonably priced commodities to bring out this way. So there we are then, that's a look at the second phase of the Thargoid attack. Currently it's worth noting that these are still all Aegis stations, but maybe they're going to wait their way towards other stations at a future point. What's clear though is, at least for the moment, it seems Thargoids are not ready to give up. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys and girls next time.